My name is Opondo Maunga from Kenya, a graduate from the University of Nairobi with a bachelor's degree in education science. I'm a teacher of math with over 12 years experience teaching in secondary schools in Kenya under Teachers Service Commission. Over the years, I have held different positions in the school where I serve, like Director of Studies, being a housemaster, and the head of mathematics. These positions have helped me grow as a person in learner assessment and learner evaluation. I am equally a national examiner in mathematics paper 1. Outside the classroom, I am also a coach of soccer boys and badminton team. I believe this will help me grow as a person. I also believe that every learner is able to do well when given the right instructions at the right time in the right environment. And that is why I'm here to present that to you with my experience, and I believe that our learners and your institution will benefit from me. Growing up, I was not so good in class. But when I changed school, I met one very good mathematics teacher called Mr. Mwali. He encouraged me and gave me constant tests on how to improve in math. Eventually, this worked. This had made me as a person passionately like to help students. And with this, I decided to teach mathematics because I believe when students are guided correctly and rightly with the right instructions and right materials, then their growth eventually is going to be met. And the academic performance in math will automatically improve. I don't only teach, I am also involved in extracurricular activity. I am coach of the soccer boys team in the school where I work. I am also the coach of badminton. I have been able to take my learners up to the county level in the competition, and they've competed well. I believe with these instructions and this, my experience, I'll be able to grow your learners and help them grow as a good people. I'm able to teach mathematics from grade 9 to grade 12 in the current school where I work on. This is an age bracket of about 13 years to 19 years. Now, I've been able to grow and very lucky to teach math through all those grades through over the years, over time. I have grown in this, and I believe I bring a lot of experience in your institution. My lesson preparation starts from knowing the objectives of my lesson and what the learners need to know. I then go into what is the prior knowledge that my learners know. This will help me design the best methods for teaching and the best materials required. Now, when I make my lesson plan, I need to distinctly state the lesson objectives. Now, when I start my lesson, I start by provoking the learners onto what they have known. And then I go to the lesson presentation, where now I present the topics using various methods that will help them learn, putting in mind that both the slow learners and the fast learners are catered for. When the lesson is finally done, then I do a random assessment, where I will assess what I have taught and how they have gained during the lesson. And then therefore I give assignments and classwork to be done in class, assignments to be carried home, and I check their progress when they come back. Then finally, I get their feedback on understanding, so that if I need to change on how I present the lesson, then I'm able to do that over time and make my learners benefit from my lesson. Teaching methods are very important in teaching of math because these are what defines the understanding capacity of your learners. I use explicit instructions. These explicit instructions help me modify a question and give step-to-step explanation to learners. And then thereafter, I give them more tests to do on their own as they learn. Number two, I also use inquiry-based learning, where learners are given projects to work on, and after the project, they come up with a conclusion, and from the conclusion, we are able to derive a uniform formula for all the learners. For example, when teaching about the area of math, how length changes affects the area of a particular figure, then you'll help learners, give them different shapes, and then they examine and finally come with a conclusion. These two methods go hand in hand with collaborative learning, where learners are grouped in ability and are helped to learn from one another. This helps retention of material and what is taught, and eventually builds confidence in how they learn and how they present their answers. Depending on the time that you come into my classroom, you may find various activities going on. When we begin the lesson, we start with brain teasers, where we brainstorm on what learners know so that we move forward. After this, we may go to group discussions, where learners are grouped and discuss and learn and in peer terms, where learner teaches one another. This will help in building cohesion and group work. Now, we may also do group presentation. This may come after the group discussions. This also help build my learner confidence. And finally, when my lesson is ending, you may find my learners answering quizzes that I raise from the topic that we have taught, not forgetting the use of technology in the lesson that will help them integrate and learn more from experience over time. Learner evaluation is very vital because this is what gives you feedback on what you have taught. Now, evaluation takes on different levels. Me as a teacher, I evaluate my learners one by observation. You observe learners how they handle the instruments and how they do particular projects in a class. Two, we can also do learner evaluation by giving oral quizzes, where you give learners oral questions and they provide the answers. This will also give you a feedback on how content can be delivered. We also do exams over time, where learners are given continuous assessment tests, either short tests or summative tests at the end of the year. This also will build on what the learners have learned, and we're able to know what they have gained and what they have not gained to help you have a feedback and redo what was not done well. In the 21st century, technology is very vital in teaching and learning. And mostly I use GeoGebra to help my learners in doing construction work. Two, I also use YouTube videos, and I also record my personal videos where my learners are able to review what I have taught in class through my recorded videos. Over time, I also use Smartboard to provide notes and save notes and present to my learners technologically after my lessons. It has really helped me to teach certain topics. Even teaching a topic like quadratic equation, Smartboard has been very vital for me in my teaching experience. Controlling disruptive learners without disrupting the lesson is very vital. The use of nonverbal cues, where you give a learner signal without talking. For example, you may increase the tone of my talking, and this may help the learner concentrate on what I am doing in class. Two, I may also be able to move close to the learner. When that is done, then my physical appearance next to the learner may help the learner regain and join us in the class. I am also able to do group work where learners are involved in class actively in group work. That will make them occupied and work without making noise. Otherwise, if that doesn't work, then I may also remind the learners of our class rules. Not putting in mind that I also will actively congratulate those who are doing well by doing positive feedback. I tell those who are not making noise, congratulations, congratulating them. And then finally, if the learner is not able to do what I instruct them, then I may call upon the administration to help me to handle the learner who is disrupting my class. Back when I was employed in 2013, I was given one class that was grade 11, where the average performance in mathematics was about 18 marks. This was not pleasing. So I had to talk to myself and ask what may be the problem. Therefore, I went to the learners and required their feedback on what may be affecting their performance. And most of them brought down to me that their foundation in certain topics was not so good. Therefore, this made me come back to myself, and I made remedial classes an hour after the day so that we'd go through the topics that they didn't get well to build on the foundation and eventually let them go. I am happy that eventually this class did so well in the national exam, and they had an average mark of about 45 marks. And I believe extra time given to the learners really made them benefit from the lesson and did well. Being flexible at teacher of math is very helpful. Now, this happens when you've presented a topic in a given method of teaching, but your learner feedback tells you that the topic didn't go well. So therefore, I am flexible as a person, because when they tell me that it doesn't work, then I change my method of teaching so that it suits them. For example, lecture method may not work. So therefore, at times I may change to group work or inquiry-based learning or use of technology. That flexibility makes my learners learn and gain more, and also build trust between me and them. It also helps them know that whenever feedback is provided to me, then as a person, I'm able to change, implement what they require for their overall development.